So we're going to talk about the 2-1-2 forecheck in hockey. Just to start, there was an introduction video to what we call F1, F2, F3. Just as a quick recap, F1 is really the first forward into the zone that's closest to the puck. The F2 would be the second forward into the zone closest to the puck, and F3 is the third forward into the offensive zone closest to the puck, and then D1 would be the closest defenseman, and D2 would be the second closest defenseman to the puck when we're in the offensive zone, that is. Also, it's important to note that really forechecking occurs when the play is either in the offensive zone or the neutral zone, and we don't have puck possession, which means the other team has the puck and we're trying to get it back. As a team, the goal of forechecking is really to work together. We want to structure ourselves and pressure the opponent in the offensive zone so that we can regain the puck back. And of course, from that, we can then use the puck to potentially drive to the net, score, make a pass, make a shot, and do whatever to try to score a goal. It's also important to note that within at least the explanation of this, I have kind of three layers in the offensive zone. So this is the offensive zone of the, or our offensive zone, so the defensive zone of the other team. This is the other team's goalie. There's a defenseman, center, winger, and I guess I'll put down another winger here. And really, they're going back to collect the puck to get it out of their zone. We're going in to disrupt it. So in this example, there's kind of the first layer, which is the bottom layer here, the second or middle layer, and then there's the third or top layer. So in a 2-1-2 forecheck, the first layer, or this bottom layer, is always going to have what we call our F1, and then our F2 is always going to be there to support, and then our F3 is going to be in the middle layer. So they're kind of hovering. In the last video, we talked about them as being like the hawk, so they're kind of watching. And then we have, of course, the defenseman. So we have our D1, which would always be on this side, closest to the puck, and our D2, which again is on the other side, but also they're in that top layer. So if you look at this for a second, you'll see that we have two forwards in this bottom layer. So that's the 2. We have the middle forward in the middle layer, so that's the 1. And then we have the 2 defense up top, which again is our 2. So you can tell now why this is called a 2-1-2 forecheck, is because we're structuring our players and we're positioning ourselves to be in a situation where we can disrupt. So let's go through a little bit of a scenario. So say we're entering the zone and we have the puck is in the corner and this defenseman is going back to get it. So the puck's been shot in the corner or it ends up in the corner. As our forwards are entering the zone, it would be great if the forwards could start to yell F1, F1 as they enter the zone. So we know that, hey, they're the first ones in, they're attacking. So now F2 realizes, oh, I'm doing maybe some shoulder checks, I'm checking, I'm definitely the F2, and I'm quickly in there to attack. If we don't do this early, if we don't call out our positions and realize which position we're playing, what's going to happen is we might not anticipate this and slow down or wait or look. It's really important that we attack. So this player goes back to get the puck, the defenseman. F1's attacking, F2's yelling F2, they're supporting, and F3 is coming in and saying F3, and they're going to become the hawk. So they're anticipating, they're seeing that these two forwards are in deep, and they're all of a sudden making sure that, hey, we're going to take away the middle of the ice. So they're staying in the middle, what we call high slot, and they're kind of acting like the hawk. So they're watching, they're reading, and they're trying to anticipate the play. Our D1, who comes in on this side, is a lot easier. I mean, they can yell D1, but they're already positioned on this side of the ice, and because they're nearest to the puck and it's in their corner, they're going to croak down a little bit lower and I'll explain why that's important in a second. And then our D2, who's coming in a little later, will be a little bit higher than D1. So in an ideal situation, I'm going to delete the 2 lines. In an ideal situation, this F1 does an amazing job at being aggressive, pressuring the puck. They're stick on stick, body on body. They cause a turnover. They either check the player into the boards or they cause a turnover. Puck bounces out and F2 collects the puck. At this point, F2 has lots of options, right? They can skate with the puck and take it on their own to the net. They can look for a pass to F3. So a lot of the times teams will send a center down low. They can look for a high pass in the slot, or F3, and this is the one situation where I think we should start to work on, is F3 is always driving to the net. So they see that we gain puck control, F3 realizes that, and like a hawk, they dive down for attack, like they're going to eat their food, so they're prey. So they're diving down, F2 recognizes, can make a pass in front, or they can drive to the net and make a shot, and so on. Another thing that happens all the time is sometimes this winger gets caught down low. So the defending winger is all the way down here. The other team has a center. And what this does is it opens up our defense. So our defense are really important to make sure that, or it's really important to make sure that the defense are reading the play. They're paying attention to where that winger is. And if that winger's not high on them, they're ready to call for a pass. So if F2 does get the puck, they can yell the player's name, they can bang their stick, they can just make sure that this F2 realizes that, hey, I'm open for a pass. That could be either a bounce pass off the boards or straight pass. But again, if they make that pass, they now have an open lane to the net to move in for a shot. And as we see this unfolding, F3 can, of course, get a tip, F1 rebound, and so on. So it's really important that, again, as the play is unfolding and as our forecheck's unfolding, all our players kind of have a role. Our defense need to pay attention. Our forwards, our F2, F1 have to pay attention and read the play, and our F3 is really important here as well. So if I go back to this scenario, so winger, F2's in deep, centers maybe higher, puck's down low. A lot of the times what happens is this defenseman will decide to just shoot the puck up, because they've been taught to break out up the wall. So they'll shoot the puck up. And in this instance, our D1 sees an opportunity to pinch. They see that they have their F3 high and ready in that second layer. They pinch down low to keep the puck in, and our F3 blasts out to support. So just in case the puck does come by, they're protecting, making sure there's no breakaway or odd man rushes like a 2-on-1 or 3-on-1. So again, it's really important to read the play and anticipate what's going to happen. On this situation where our defense pinches, while the F3 needs to come across and support, the D2 also needs to realize that their D partner's pinching, and they can start to kind of hover over into the middle. They don't want to go right over until they know the puck's coming out, but they do want to go over closer to the middle of the ice, take away the middle. Just in case the puck does either bounce out in the middle or go up the boards, they're there to kind of collect it and make sure, again, the other team doesn't get an easy breakaway. So, one final situation. So, sometimes what happens is this defenseman, we talked about when we get the puck, we want to drive to the net, the Hawk's going to swoop in. Second scenario is they shoot up the boards. The third scenario, which happens a lot, is this player will start skating behind the net. So if this happens, we want our F1 to keep pressuring, keep pressuring, keep pressuring. But again, the F3 is following, and the F3 is going to anticipate that this player might have an opportunity to go around. They're going to burst down. And when they do that, like a hawk, they're now becoming the F2. But what happens is if this F2 is chasing, we'll have 3 players down low, which is not good. So the F2 needs to read that play, and they are going to burst up to become that F3, and so on and so on. Our D1 go over, our D2 go over. They switch positions because now this defenseman is closest to the puck, so they become the D1. So again, it's really important that we read the play, we anticipate what the defenders are doing, we're aggressive in pressure, we don't hesitate. Once we go for the attack and once we decide we're the F1 and F2, we have to get in there quick. We always, always, always have to have stick on stick. So we're trying to disrupt and hit the puck. We're using our bodies to push and push the other player off the puck. And fourth and final is we got to support each other. So when we pinch, each defenseman needs to support each other. Our F3 needs to support the defense. And for all of this to work, it's important that all 5 players on the ice, when we're doing a forecheck, are taking part and working their hardest to actually get the puck back, which will ultimately lead to more shots on net, more scoring chances, more passes, and so on. Okay, we're going to jump over to an example of a women's hockey game between Ohio State and Minnesota State. I was able to find this clip on YouTube, and I thought it was a great one that kind of explained a 2-1-2 forecheck. And it also shows just some things that I think we can even improve on as we do this. So, as you can tell, the puck is located against the sidewall here, and it slowly goes into the net, into the corner. And then right here we have our forward. So we have our F1 aggressively yelling F1, F1, F1. They're first to that puck, so they can get there first. As you can tell, they're not slowing down. They're in full stride. Our F2, same thing. They're in full stride. They're trying to get there as fast as they can to help out their teammate. So as the puck comes in, they get closer. Our F3 is again hovering, so they're acting like a hawk. You can tell they're not in full stride because they're anticipating and reading what this player's doing. So as the puck goes deep into the corner, we stop right here. F3 is actually a little bit low because I think F3 was anticipating that this puck would be shot around. They should be more in the slot right here, anticipating a pass potentially up the boards. So as you can tell, this player is going back in the yellow, gets to the puck first, but lots of pressure here by the F1. Stick on stick, body on body. She forces the play up the boards. Our F2 almost gets the puck, so you can see the F2 reading it. She gets there so fast that she almost gets to the puck. She does miss it in the situation, and it comes up the side wall. So if we freeze right here, our D1 anticipates this player is in a very vulnerable position. They're sideways, they're not looking up ice. Their back is turned from the play, so even when they get that puck, to make a backhand pass in this situation would be really hard. So this D1 makes a great decision to pinch, forcing that player into a very awkward position. They pinch hard, they keep the puck against the wall, and put it back down to the corner. Now, as that was all unfolding, you could see the F3 came from all the way over here, and they're anticipating that if this player does get up, they're there to block off 10, and they're there to help out with this player as well. So they're there, and even if you look farther back, you can't see off the clip here, but our D2 does also come over. You kind of see their stick there. Their D2 does come over as well to support. So again, as that play is unfolding, our D2 right here is anticipating that that puck could end up the boards, and they go over, and then of course in this situation the defense does a great job keeping the puck down low. And then as soon as we get possession of that puck, this is the best part of this entire clip, is that our F3 now joins the attack. They get open for a pass, they swoop down like a hawk, and of course the game continues on. So again, as you can tell, all the players were active and involved in this play. They were all watching, they were all reading, they were anticipating what was going to happen, and they attacked. And that's how the 2-1-2 really works, because it allows us to be very aggressive, it allows us to pinch hard, it allows us to keep pucks in, and of course get more scoring chances. So I'm going to play that one more time really quickly. These players are yelling F1, F1, F2, F2, F3, F3. Puck gets deep, attacking the puck. 2 on the puck, aggressive, strong pinch. Keeps the puck in. F3 hovers like a hawk, down low. And of course they get a scoring chance, or they get possession of the puck, which is ultimately the goal.